So the programming example for this week, or rather the tutorial for this week, is the application of which a wallpaper company uses to calculate how many rows of wallpaper are needed to cover a single room. Basically, the outer walls of the room, not the floor or the ceiling. So given the inputs such as the height, length, width of the room, and the wallpaper roll type, meaning that, are you gonna use a 36 square feet wallpaper or a 29 square feet wallpaper? Or you can use your own wallpaper type which is not these areas. So using these inputs, the program can calculate how many rows you need. And here I'm going to use subroutines or functions to prevent the duplication of any code. So if I think, okay, this line of code will appear a lot of times in the program, I'm just going to use subroutines or functions to just replace those. So here is the design of the program without any code. I'm going to write all the code, but here is the program. Wallpaper calculator is its title. We have 4 labels: room height, width, length, and the role type. 3 text boxes. This is called the height box, width box, length box. And there's a combo box here where I'm gonna input 2 different items, the 36 and 29 for the role area. And this is set up so that the user can enter his or her own role area. That'll still work. There's a label here which will show me the number of rows needed. Calculate button, exit button. All of these have been set up according to access keys and all that fun stuff. And also I have set up the accept button and the cancel button. No, I haven't done the cancel button, so this is the exit button. So now let's quickly go over the code. So for the exit button, double click me.close as always. And now the calculate button code, calc, click. So now I'm gonna define 3 different variables: length, width, and height, and all of them are going to be doubles, since we might not have integer numbers always. Notice my typo, it should be width. So see how I just use commas to replace, having to define or having to take up a line for each variables. And you can do that. You can use this method, basically using commas to define as many as the variables of the same type you want. And then I'm gonna have a variable called total area, which will give me the total area of the room itself. So these length, width, and height, these variables are going to extract the user input in the corresponding text box, the length, width, and height box. To do that, I need to do double dot try parse, or parse the value from, this is for the length box dot text, that's going to be assigned in length. Then I'm going to just copy paste to get the same for the height and width. Height is going to be height, width is going to be width. Okay, so that's part's done. Now I need to basically, for the total area, is going to be 2 times the height and width added to 2 times of the height and length, because we're covering the 4 walls of the room, and the area of 2 walls is the product of the height and width, and the area of the other two walls is the product of the height and length of the room. So to do that, I'm going to use functions. So I'm going to define the function which will calculate areas. I'm going to name that function calc area, and it's going to have two variables, or two parameters rather. The first one is called ht for height, and the second one I'm gonna call wd for the width. And it's going to return ht times wd. So what's going to happen is that for the first, or for two walls, I'm going to enter height and length here, and I'm gonna, for the other two walls, I'm going to enter height and width here, and those arguments are going to convert into these parameters, and then those values are going to be used here, and they will return the total, or return the area here. So what I'm going to do is going to have total area is equals to 2 times calc area, and then first one's going to be height and length. These are the arguments which will be passed on. Height is going to be going to ht, and length is going to be going to wd here, and then that's going to be added to calc area, again height times width. So here height is again going to ht, and width is going to go to wd. So that's the total area. Now to find the number of rows, I need to know the role type which the user selected. To do that, I'm going to have to define some more variables. There's going to be a dim role area, which is going to give me the number of rows, or the total role area, and the num roles, which is my output. So role area is just the role type selected, so that's I'm going to extract from the combo box. So that's the combo box is called role type combo box. So role type combo box dot text. So whatever the text is entered over there is going to go into role area. So then I can define num rows equals to total area divided by role area. So it extracts the role area, and then total area divided by role is your number of rows, and then I have to define or display that in the label, which I have named role label. So role label dot text is equals to the, it says that the number of roles is whatever the number of roles is there to string. So convert the variable which was double number, the number of rows was a double, so I need to convert that to a string to be displayed, and then ampersand, then do not forget the period. So, and I also have to deal with the combo box. Right now with my code doesn't have any choice in there, so I need to have main form events dot then load. So when the form loads, I need to add some items to there. So that's role type combo box dot items dot add. One was 36, the other was 29. So these are the two items and they will load. So now let's see what's up. Okay, so let's say 10 foot, 10 foot and 5 foot, and okay, that's kind of not correct. 10, 15, and let's say 30, and then select a role type of 36. So that's 25. Let's say that. Now there is a couple of problems here. You'll see that based on whatever I'm entering, the text box is changing and the width of the text box is changing, and also is going to have very big fractions here, decimal points. So I mean, in our real world we cannot have fractions here, so we need to find an whole number for this. And also I cannot have this text box changing like that, so I need to make the width fixed so that I have reasonable area for the text box. So let's say I want to have the auto size as false. I want to have an area of that at max, and I also want to have this output as a round number. If it's a fraction, then I want to change that to a integer number. And so to do that is just math.round, and if you use that, then whatever the fraction is or decimal number is going to be converted to the rounded value. And let's see, 10, 15, 33, then I can enter my role type. It's always going to give me an integer number no matter what my input was. So I mean, that's it for this program. Hopefully you learned something, and hopefully it helps with your assignments.